Well, like people always sit and play on their phones and tinker and fool with everything. And I found this app, GarageBand, on my phone, which I used to have it on my iPad when I was younger, and I would record myself playing, things, and I would like lay over different instruments. I would go show my mom, and I would go show her, and it was just like a more simple thing that I never took as seriously, I just thought it was something, for fun, just a little more relaxed, and I'm revisiting it here back in December. And I'm wondering, I wonder if they've developed this at all, if they've really furthered its capabilities, and I was blown away. I started messing with it, and it was almost instantly, I was like, man, somebody needs to really get into this and see what it can really do, and I looked it up, and I couldn't really find much, so I was like, I'll do it, I'll take it on, so. I think the learning curve is essentially, no time at all. People, since I've started doing this album and this concept, I've told people about it, and they'd be like, what are you talking about? This GarageBand? They'll get their phone out. And that's it. And next thing I know, they're like, hey, listen to this. It's super user-friendly. It's really simple. But also, it's not limiting at all. If you know what you're doing, you know what I mean? It's all the features are there. It's capable of doing a whole lot. That's the thing is, when I first started, is I wondered if that was possible, and that did take a little learning curve just because I didn't know how to do it, but it was simple. Once I saw someone else do it, it was easy. But yeah, you think in a traditional studio setting, you can have people overdub, their tracks and their instruments and whatever from satellite location. And I was wondering, there's a woman who's singing some features on the album. I'm not going to give her name away, but from Pittsburgh. And I called her and I said, hey, I really want to have you a part of this thing. I said, but I don't know how to do it. I said, so go. I called my friend who owned the studio up there, and I said, hey, Greg, I said, can you get her in there and just do it all on your iPhone? He was like, with my iPhone? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, just pull up GarageBand. I'm like, just record the vocal tracks, whatever. And I said, and then just send them to me. I'm going to figure it out how to put it in here. And he said, okay. So he sent it to me, and I uploaded it on my iCloud and pulled it right in. Once I had the file on my phone, it took maybe 10 seconds. It's super simple. That's another thing. I've really tried to stay away from pigeonholing myself at all in the arts, really, as of lately. But with this album, everybody's got this, I'm sure, this preconceived idea of what they think it's going to be. Like, oh, it's going to be bluegrass, or oh, it's going to be his jazz album. Time for that, But it's none of those things. It's kind of like a mashup of everything that's ever influenced me, of all time, really. There's jazz and funk influences, there's some blues influence, Latin and African world music type stuff going on. There's a lot of pulls from a lot of different ideas and stuff, and I think that's what makes it so unique also, is not only the recording process, but what it was we were recording and the music that I made. Anytime somebody records an album, that they're going to publish, they're going to release or whatever, or any art for that matter, is, first, primarily you want it to be art that you enjoy and that others enjoy. And that's the main thing about art, is if I sell 10 copies of this, ever, and that's it, but they love it, then my work's done, and I'm completely content with that. But I guess from a business standpoint, what I really want to do is get this in front of Apple and get it into the hands of Apple, which I know that their policy on, submissions from customers is really strict, and they typically don't do a lot of things like that. I'm willing to give it all I've got to make sure that it gets to them somehow, because I think, it's something that I think they've overlooked slightly, is really what, they've made something really special with the GarageBand, and I think that they need to put a little maybe more focus into getting that out there, because if everybody that's an artist that I know that I've told about this album, they're like, GarageBand? They're like, really? You can do that? I'm like, yeah, you can do that. It's amazing. And people think, they always ask me, oh, you're just doing this because you want to go viral on the internet, or you're just doing this because you're trying to be different. No, I think it's amazing, and I just want everybody to know about it, that I can get to listen, because it's awesome, and I think it's great.